What's your biggest piece of advice for newlyweds?
Here's a rule. You're married. You got to talk for 90 minutes a week about the domestic economy. That's annoying. It's like a management meeting. What the hell's going on in the household? Where are the finances? You know, what are we doing with the kids? Where are things coming unglued? What needs to be repaired? Who's doing what job? 90 minutes a week, minimum. You don't do it, you'll get a backlog, and then you'll get divorced, and then you'll have those discussions for 5 years in court. And so, with someone who hates you. And so, with lawyers taking all your money while you're doing it. So, 90 minutes a week, man, you better talk to each other and clear away the rubbish. And then 90 minutes a week, you better have your romantic interlude. And you might say, well, I'm not in the mood. It's like, get in the goddamn mood. I mean it. Like, it's like, I don't really feel like it. It's like, yeah, no kidding. Because you're tired and the kids are noisy and, you know, what's your point? Like, get your act together and get at it, you know, and figure out how to get yourself prepared for it. And it's part of your duty, you know, but more than that, it's like, why would you want to lose that? There's not that. How many things in your life are genuinely like revitalizing, like romance, you know, beauty, music? There's a handful of things, but that's definitely one of them. You don't want to lose that. So at least once a week, you need a date. And, you know, if you're lucky, maybe it's 3 times a week. And if you're sane, you can probably manage it twice. But once is a minimum. And so you got to make it a priority, man. And you're going to have to get that 90 minutes of cluttered economic discussion out of the way beforehand, because otherwise it'll exist as a barrier between you. So you got to have that communication. You have to. You'll pay for it. You don't want to do it because you really want to talk to your wife. It's like, no, she doesn't really want to talk to you either, because it's the details, the painful details of life that have to be negotiated, you know, and it's work. I you know, I'm being a bit cynical about that, but you get my point. And people do avoid that. They leave it in the fog, you know. They leave it in the fog.
And if you don't have that 90 minutes of conversation and you're all ready for your date, that's when you have that 90 minutes of conversation.
Yeah, and then the date will just go sideways. It's
yeah.
like, yeah. I mean, the last time Tammy and I had a date at our house, she spent the first 5 minutes telling me that I wasn't cleaning the sink properly. Luckily, we only had 5 minutes of clutter to get through. So, and that meant that we'd had an awful lot of conversations, because there's plenty of complexity in a household. So don't lose that romantic vision, man. That's a big mistake, but you have to work at it. Like, you have to work at it real hard to keep it alive. But it's worth it if you can do it. You'll see what do you see? You see the eternal, beautiful spirit of your partner if you do that right. You can see them at every stages of all the time you've known them. You can see who they are at all the stages of their life at the same time. It's really something. Love does that, you know, transforms your perceptions in that way. It reminds you about the remarkableness of being alive and the great fortune you have in finding someone that you can weave your story together with and embark on the adventure of life. But it takes cultivation, you know. It takes cultivation to make that bloom.